What's going on, YouTube? Thomas L here. And here's Friday is the new film Welcome to Marwen, which looks excellent. And it's directed by Zemeckis, who's, by the way, one of my favorite filmmakers. I mean, the guy is an iconic filmmaker. I mean, he's directed some of the most iconic movies in years. So, with that being said, here's my top 10 Zemeckis movies. Coming in Coming in at number 10 will be the film The Walk. Now, this movie was terrific. I mean, it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a guy named Philippi Pettit. I'm kind of butcher his name, but it's actually based on a documentary called A Man on Wire. Where this guy actually decides to climb the Twin Towers back in, I think, the 80s or 70s, I believe it was. This movie was beautiful to look at. I mean, if you're afraid of heights, like if you're not big with heights, I highly not recommend seeing this because it actually is a little hard to watch. Because when he does the scene where he type walks on between the Twin Towers, looks intense. I mean, I saw this movie in IMAX back in 2015, and it's probably one of my favorite IMAX movie going experience that isn't like a big blockbuster. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I thought he was terrific here. Too bad the movie flopped, though. I mean, it was kind of a shame that it didn't do so well because it's actually a really solid film. And the documentary is actually pretty decent, too. If you get a chance to check out the documentary that this movie is based on, and it's crazy that it's based on a true story. I mean, someone who wants to walk, towards the Twin Towers, I mean, that you gotta be brave to do that stuff. But yeah, if you guys never seen The Walk yet, I highly recommend it. All right, coming in at number 9 will be the film Beowulf. Now, the animation here was terrific. It started the great Ray Winstone as Beowulf. You had Anthony Hopkins, who was awesome. You even had Angelina Jolie, who was really good looking here. I really dug Beowulf. This has got to be one of his most underrated gems. I really dug the animation style he uses. I mean, you don't really see that many animated films now. Like the animation they use for Beowulf, you don't really see it anymore. Shame too, because there's some really good animation stuff. Yeah, if you guys never had a chance to check out Beowulf by now, I highly recommend it. It's such a good film, and it's worth checking out. All right. Coming in at number 8 would be the film Flight. Now, this movie I thought was terrific. It starred Denzel Washington. You had the likes of John Goodman, Don Cheadle was in this, Nadine Vasquez, Kelly Rowley, Melissa Leo was amazing. Talk about, like I said, that The Walk might be a test to watch. Flight is another film that will probably be a little tense to watch. I mean, in the film, Denzel plays a pilot named Whit Whitaker who has a problem with drugs and alcohol, and so far he's managed to complete his flights, very safely, and then one day there's a dangerous malfunction that sends his plane hurtling towards the ground, and then he pulls off a crash landing that results in 6 lives lost, and there's a crash investigation that exposes his drug addictions, and I think Denzel scored an Oscar nomination for this, if I'm not mistaken. Well deserved. I mean, it shows how much of an amazing actor Denzel Washington is. And I believe this was also Robert Zemeckis' first R-rated movie. I could be mistaken there, but But if you guys never seen Flight by now, give it a go. It's a really fun, intense. I shouldn't really say fun, but it's a really intense film worth checking out. And I gotta say, too bad Denzel didn't win his Oscar for this, because I think this is a performance that should have won him an Oscar, but at least he got nominated. So, all right. Coming in at number 7 would be The Polar Express. Now, the animation, this is terrific. I mean, this has maybe some of the best animation movies I've ever seen. You know, you got Tom Hanks voicing like not one but about 3 characters here. You know, the train sequence looked pretty cool. I mean, this is definitely probably one of the best Christmas anime movies of recent years. Sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, Polar Express is such an amazing film. If you guys for every reason still never seen the Polar Express, I highly recommend it. It's really amazing. And too bad we never got to see a sequel to this. I always thought that Polar Express was warranted for a sequel, but it is a really underrated gem. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Coming in at number 6 will be Romancing the Stones. Now, this one, of course, starred Michael Douglas as well as Kathleen Turner. This is a classic. I mean, Romancing the Stones is fantastic. Now, I always like the chemistry between both Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. You even had Danny DeVito. I mean, it's always great to see Danny DeVito pop up in anything. This movie was pretty much like a romance adventure film, and it's really fun. It's like a really good romance film. I mean, it has romancing in its title, so. And it's too bad Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner never worked together. I mean, it would be cool seeing them work together again, but it's been a while since they've ever done anything together. Can't remember the last time they've worked together, but they really had amazing chemistry with one another. And if they announced that Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas are going to be in another film together, I'm down to see that. Now, I've been hearing rumors about like them maybe possibly doing like either a sequel or a remake of this. It'll be hard to top the original Romancing the Stones. It's a classic, I mean, the movie got released in. Yeah, it got released in 1984, and you know what? I think the movie still holds up today. It's iconic, and they show on TV pretty much a lot of times. So, yeah, definitely check out Romancing the Stones. It's definitely one of Zemeckis' best work. Coming in at number 5 is Castaway. Now, this is another movie that starred Tom Hanks. That was directed by Zemeckis. And of course, Zemeckis and Hanks worked together in another film I'm gonna mention later on. But Castaway is it's an instant classic. It's definitely one of Tom Hanks' best work. I mean, Tom Hanks, on an island with nothing but with no friends on an island, like the only thing he talks to on an island is a volleyball named Wilson. This is a really amazing movie. I think Tom Hanks scored an Oscar nomination for this. I always thought he won his Oscar for this, but he only got nominated. Well deserved too. It's an amazing film. Good performance by Hanks, and I mean, if you guys still never seen Castaway, check out Castaway. It's amazing. Yeah, again, I don't know many people who haven't seen Castaway. Coming in at number 4 is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The classic, hybrid animated live action film with, some of the classic cartoon characters. You've got Bob Hoskins in this, Christopher Lloyd, Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner voiced Jessica Rabbit. What guy did not love Jessica Rabbit? Let's be for real there. Whoever knew anyone could have a crush on a rabbit? But hey, Jessica Rabbit is iconic, you know. But anyway, yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a fantastic film. I've been hearing years that they're supposed to do a sequel to this, but that never got off the ground. I don't think we're ever going to see another Who Framed Roger Rabbit, to be honest with you. And to be honest, I think it's alright if we don't get another one. But I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is just really hard to touch. You know, it's the character Roger Rabbit is a really iconic cartoon character. You also got a few other cartoon characters who pop up, like Scooby and Shaggy appeared in a couple of episodes. Not episode, but a couple of scenes I'm at. Yeah, this is a instant classic. I mean, it got released in 1988, and it still holds up today. You know, today people still knows what Who Framed Roger Rabbit is, and if you guys never seen it, check it out. All right, coming in at number. All right, coming in at number 3 is Back to the Future 2. Now, this movie actually had Marty McFly and Doc Brown go back to 2015. So when 2015 was here, that was pretty much Back to the Future Day. I mean, Back to the Future kind of predicted a lot of stuff. I mean, it predicted, let's see, it actually, in a way, it predicted Donald Trump's presidency. Like, the character of Biff, believe it or not, is actually similar to Donald Trump. I don't want to get too much political here, but I'll just say that if you see Biff in Back to the Future 2, you'll be thinking of Trump. That's literally, he's seriously like a clone of Trump. And this was, of course, back in of course, this got released in like late 80s before, you know, Donald Trump became bigger and stuff. But I always found that to be pretty funny. And of course, Back to the Future 2 was the one, was the film that invented hoverboards. Like, if it wasn't for Back to the Future 2, any fans of hoverboards would not have hoverboards. So you gotta thank for Back to the Future 2 for inventing hoverboards. But anyway, Back to the Future 2 is by far one of my favorite sequels of all time. It's really fun. You know, it's also, you know, as fun as the first film. Back to the Future 2 is just a classic. I mean, this time around, instead of, you know, going, you know, back to the future, they go off, you know, forwards into the future. And, you know, it has some really good special effects, and, you know, it's very visually stunning. You know, the DeLorean is just awesome, and awesome. That's an awesome car. I always wanted a DeLorean. And Back to the Future 2. I mean, if you've never seen it, give it a go. It's amazing. All right, coming in at number 2 is Forrest Gump. Now, I believe this one, Best Picture at the Oscars. It's a classic. I mean, I love Forrest Gump. You know, Tom Hanks as the role of Forrest Gump is amazing. You know, Sally Field was good. Robin Wright Penn. Well, I think she was just Robin Wright at the time, but anyway. And of course, he had Gary Sinise, McKay Williamson. I think I most like butcher his first name. And I also always like the, you know, when they had like Tom Hanks, you know, like the footage of Forrest Gump meeting presidents of the United States. Like there was footage of him meeting, you know, John F. Kennedy. There was, of course, footage of Forrest Gump on the Johnny Carson show. I've really always dug that in Forrest Gump. And this movie is just iconic. I mean, it has some iconic lines like Mom always said, life was like a box of chocolate. I cannot do a good Forrest Gump impression. And I mean, I believe Tom Hanks won his Oscar for this, and well deserved. It's pretty much his best performance ever. I mean, down the line, I'm probably going to do a top 10 Tom Hanks movie. And of course, Forrest Gump will be on that list. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time as well. I mean, the movie got released in 1994, and the movie still holds up. Everyone today knows what Forrest Gump is. All right, coming in at number one for my favorite Robert Zemeckis movie. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. And that, my dear friend, is Back to the Future. This movie here is iconic. This is the movie that makes me actually always want to own a time machine. Seriously, I've always wanted a time machine ever since I saw Back to the Future. I mean, scientists, come on, man. Find a way to create a time machine. I've always wanted one. The DeLorean is just the most iconic car ever. Out of every movie cars, the DeLorean is probably my favorite. Sorry for any cars in the Fast and Furious. Sorry, Herbie from Herbie Fully Loaded. But DeLorean is the best car in cinematic history. And Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly, I've always liked. You got Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown, Leah Thompson. Thomas F. Wilson as Beth. Oh, how this is going off subject, but how awesome is it to see Thomas F. Wilson on Legends of Tomorrow? That's really awesome to see. And of course, you got the classic song by Huey Lewis. You don't need a credit card to ride. That's a classic song. That's probably one of my favorite songs from a movie. I mean, Back to the Future is probably my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It's iconic. It has some iconic scenes. It also has the opening scene is probably one of my favorite opening scenes in the movie. And the visual effects in this thing was awesome. I believe Steven Spielberg was a producer on this. And to be honest, I've always thought Spielberg directed this movie for some reason because it literally felt like a Spielberg film when you first saw it. But Robert Zemeckis, he did an amazing job with this. I mean, this movie was released in, I think, 1984, and it still holds up today. It's a masterpiece of a film, man. And I actually saw Back to the Future back in theaters, in 2014, and it was cool seeing this on the big screen. Yeah, if no one's still never seen Back to the Future by now, watch Back to the Future. You'll thank me later. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my 10 favorite Robert Zemeckis movies. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 10, The Walk. 9, Beowulf. 8, Flight. 7, The Polar Express. 6, Romancing the Stone. 5, Castaway. 4, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. 3, Back to the Future 2. 2, Forrest Gump. 1, Back to the Future. Now, I also dug Back to the Future 3, but to me, it's kind of like the weakest out of the franchise. Still a good movie, though. Just it's not as good as 1 and 2. Let's see. He's done other stuff like A Christmas Carol. He did. Well, he also did that movie Allied, which was not that good of a film. He did Contact, which was alright. He did What Lies Beneath, which I never really care for. I know lots of people like What Lies Beneath. I never really. To me, that's actually his worst film. But yeah, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Robert Zemeckis movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas L. signing off.